Alright, what's up? I promised my friend I'd do this video when I released Dark Night of the Soul. And it's just kind of like a breakdown of the song. So first of all, the whole inspiration from the song was kind of funny. It was from Joey Valance and Bray. I think it's called Bust That or Bust It, but it's just like, yeah, something about that song was just so simple but so hard, and I was like, okay, I can deal with this. Just real simple hard drums, that sliding bass line. I was just like, yeah, this is it. It's so simple. And then I was like playing with a couple synths, layered them, put the pitch slide on them, and then I started messing with distortions and stuff, and that's where that bass line came from. I really wanted to get some other voices on it, so I got my friend Ash and Arrow on that. They live really close to me, and they've done some other stuff with me, like So Fancy. It was just really good to collaborate with them on it. They killed it, and they helped me so much with the song itself and the music video. You'll see them in there. We set up a little spot at my place to make that happen, and then also we got a local bar to have us or let us set up in their space and set up some lighting and just have a little bit of fun for an afternoon in there and get all those shots. So yeah, Dark Night of the Soul, it kind of all started as like a you need to do this song kind of thing from my inner intuition, my inner being. This is something you really need to express, and some people might connect with it. And I talked to my friend Ash, and she said, you know, you should really do this video to explain where you're coming from and what this is. And I've just been drawn to this like really spiritual path and lifestyle. I was really atheistic for a long time, and my music doesn't sound like it, but it's just like I just have this, I need energy, I need this dark, grimy, new high energy sound that I'm about to start coming out with. I have a new album I've been working on, and I got really inspired by this guy named Redrum and her Meth. They're like Eastern European, I think, but just really cool stuff. So that's been inspiring me lately. But Dark Night of the Soul, yeah, so it came from Bust That with Joey Valance and Bray. And then I was drawn to the spiritual teachings of the Gnostics, and that kind of has been gnawing at me for a long time, where I don't know why, but it always wants to come into my life, and I'm always like, that's weird, and then I ignore it, and then it keeps coming back harder and harder. And just through when I started this song to now has been just absolutely like the most incredible time of my life. So many spiritual realizations, a lot of it through psychedelics, meditation, self-awareness. Yeah, I'm actually recording this at the place we did an ayahuasca retreat, and I met my spiritual family after some really bad shit happened. But so yeah, I've been studying Gnosis for 2-3 years now, doing the practices, doing the meditations, all kinds of stuff, and basically I am supposed to teach this. But the Dark Night of the Soul is just about when you're completely alone and you're getting all these teachings and everything, and nobody connects with you anymore, and you just don't know why you're being sent down this path, and you just feel completely disconnected from everyone, and you're just holding yourself back because you don't want to be judged and ostracized and left out of everything. And it's a freaking dark place. And so that's mainly what the song is about, just that feeling of like, why is my life turning in this direction, and why am I so alone in all of this spiritual path that's being pushed on me, especially after, you know, being trying to be raised Christian, didn't take, was atheistic for a while, and then it's just all these synchronicities started happening, and all this push started happening, the spiritual pressure, and now I'm here. But yeah, so the lyrics, hey, let me tell you a little story about the state of things. Enter the fifth root race. Doesn't make me want to sing, so like in Gnosis, the fifth root race is the race we're in now. It's called the Aryan race. That has nothing to do with blonde hair, blue eyes, anything like that. We come from the Atlanteans, and this is the fifth root race. That was the fourth root race, and this is kind of the end of that race, and things are switching over for the sixth root race right now, and that's why things are all starting to fall apart. And really why I think I'm here is to teach the divine science of Gnosis. yeah, I've always had this intuitive feeling that this is the end of some kind of era and there's going to be a great fire. And Gnosis teaches, Herculubus is this large planet that comes through every so often. This one's going to kind of, won't hit Earth, but it'll tear it apart, and that's kind of where this great fire is going to come from. So that's what that line is about. All the flowers are dying, all the people are lost or lying. I'm at home, I'm sitting here crying for my siblings who think they are thriving. It's just kind of like everyone's lost in this delusion that they think they're doing good because they have this successful material life, and they think they're thriving, but it's really like nobody cares in the grand scheme of things. The divine doesn't care about your material life. It's about what you do here for your spiritual progression, for the development of your soul. And so that's what that line's about. And then the part where Arrow comes on and he does his, hardcore breakdown is kind of like the metaphor of the people who react to this kind of teaching. And it's like, sit the hell down, Mega, who the hell you think you are? And just kind of screaming, angry, reactive, identified with their lives. And so he's kind of the metaphor for that, of that part where it's like the people who are going to say no to this, and this isn't for everyone, it's only for certain people, and it's just you have to move on from that. And then back sitting in my dark, lonely hole has to do with my apartment. I live in like a garden level apartment. I went there after a bad relationship situation to just be alone, and a lot of things have happened there. Just me alone, dark, lonely hole. That's just what it is. And then the second part with Ash, when she kind of comes in and is looking all goddessy, that's kind of like when I'm trying to talk to the divine in the internal worlds through meditation and stuff like that. So yeah, the part with Ash is just like a lot about me trying to kind of contact with my guides, divinity, the angels, the internal worlds, the voices in there. And it's kind of like you can't meditate, forget yourself most of every day. So like self-remembrance is part of the Gnostic practice of just being aware of the current moment, internally and externally. Meditation has a very specific purpose, and that's to acquire information, and it's a technique that needs to be developed. And I have a lot of hard times with it, but it is getting better the more I repetitively do it. So that's kind of like what that whole part is about. And then right before that, it's kind of like everybody's lost. They don't want to hear a thing. Divinity's not there. The Elohim chopped off my wings is just like that feeling of being fallen into this material existence, and like almost like I don't belong here. I've never felt like I belonged here, and that's why I've been kind of a loner forever, and don't have many friends. And I've started to find my tribe finally, which is really refreshing, because it was lonely for a long time. But yeah, and then it goes into Ash's part. Like I said, it's just saying, why do you think you could talk to any of the divine side of life without doing the practices first and having the discipline to maintain that? And then yeah, the ending speech is just, it is what it is. It just says what it needs to say. And it's like that definition of dark night of the soul, I guess. And yeah, it's just that ending part is kind of like the Gnostic path is when you're ready to seek reunion with your inner God. Your intuition is how it talks to you. But the whole point of life is to work on developing that connection and eventually merging with your being, and setting yourself on that path where you treat life like a challenge, like a game, it just gives purpose and meaning back to life, because it grounds something back to the eternal aspect of your being, of your soul, of why am I here. And it's when you give up on finding material success and you want spiritual development and success. And that's kind of what that last speech part is about. And the whole thing is just kind of like this heavy, dark vibe, because it's just very heavy and lonely, and you feel very alone. And that's why I put that caption in the description where it's, you're not alone. So I know there's others like me out there, and I just want them to know they're not alone. And a lot of suicidal demons can kind of come out from this path, and I want people to know it's not them. I've had my encounters with my own in sober life, especially through psychedelic experiences, and it got really bad, but made it through. And I just want people to reach out and know they're not alone, and have a community around this. So that's why I wrote Dark Night of the Soul, and I promised my friend I'd make this video, so hopefully you connect with some of this. And yeah, 2025 has been fun, man. See ya.